Welcome everyone to the 2026 TESOL Media Lounge powered by Summit K-12. I'm your host, Andrea Cano, and on today's episode, we have Abdias Luque Cruz with us. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. Well, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and your journey into teaching English?
Well, I'm an English teacher in Panama,
Okay.
mainly working in higher education at Universidad de Panamá and ITSE, which is a community college.
Okay.
I'm also working on research in a research center from the English department at the Universidad de Panamá as well.
Okay. And what got you to teaching English or teaching English in your university, or that path that brought you here?
When I was little, I really enjoyed video games. And back then in 2002, 2003, there was no translation for video games. So I was basically forced to go through video games in English using my dictionary. And that was really part of my inspiration to be a teacher and use technology, because that's what really helped me to learn English and languages in general.
Oh, okay. And you are receiving an award, correct? Can you tell us a little bit about that award?
Okay, I'm receiving the Lee Award for Excellence in Classroom Technology. And basically, what I did to get this award, which I'm still shocked and surprised. But I conducted a project in an Orthodox Jewish school. I worked there for 5 years. And one of the things that I noticed was that everything was against the learning process. But why? Because because of the religious belief, we couldn't use technology in a way that several schools do by getting access to internet. They were not allowed to do that. And another thing is that if we use some regular English textbooks, there's several things that we had to censor because of the cultural alignments. So the thing is, I tried to come up with a solution, which was using generative AI to create personalized classes. But of course, we have to meet with the main rabbi and come up together as one institution and create I would say like an implementation framework to go through how to use tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, working on prompting, and create authentic material for our students to connect with the reality and to make them feel more connected and reflected to what we were learning in the classroom.
So you did all that. I'm trying to think of all the pieces that came together. That's why you won the award. What do you mean you don't know why you won the award? That's exactly why. So can you tell us a little bit about what that looked like when you implemented and worked with the school? Like once you got all of that together, what did that implementation look like for your school?
Well, I have to say that firstly, it was a secret. I tried to experiment before, showing this to everyone. And I noticed that my students, little by little, feel more engaged to getting stories about Jewish people, because back then they didn't have anything that they could use that actually reflect their lifestyle. So getting stories, characters, and things that actually reflect their what they do in the daily basis. Was basically a boost for motivation in the classroom. And of course, once I noticed that my students didn't want to miss any class, any English class, I actually have an anecdote where there was a student that he got a doctor appointment, and he told his mom that he wanted to come back to school because he didn't want to miss the English class. So actually, it was really impactful in the way we use technology in this specific institution.
Well, it sounds like you had some meaningful impact with the students, but what about with the fellow educators and teachers in the school? Was there some meaningful impact? Any specific examples you have of that?
Yes, part of the implementation was to create teacher training sessions. And of course, when we started 2 years ago, AI was basically new to most of us. We still were trying to figure out how to use AI, what's the best framework, the ethical, side of it.
Yes.
But they really felt that this was something to implement in the institution, because we spent thousands of hours looking for the right image for the students, the right reading, the right everything. But with AI, we can have that in minutes. And of course, being a teacher is time consuming.
Oh, yes.
But with the boom of AI, we spend more time in creating more impactful resources, material for our students, instead of just looking around on the internet, what's the best, when we can have everything in one tool.
Yes. Well, I think you can offer a lot to educators, especially, and I say here, especially here in the U.S. too, because as an educator, if our internet, went out for 5 seconds, it was like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And you created all of this with very limited resources. So what advice would you give to other people in similar situations that have limited resources with technology? Where should they start? What kind of advice would you give them?
This would sound a little bit contradictory, but you have to think about the problem and not the tool or technology itself. I think technology works better when you have a specific problem and the solution is that specific tool. You don't have to have all the subscriptions from OpenAI or Gemini. No, you don't have to buy them all. But try to focus on one specific problem or need that you have in your classroom, and find that specific tool that would solve the problem that you have in the classroom. As an example, I could say maybe lesson planning is a problem for you, finding resources like me because of the specific context that I had back then. But technology, just because you use technology doesn't mean that your class will be amazing.
Yes.
Or the opposite. Just because you don't use technology doesn't mean your class is bad or will be bad. It's all about how you implement technology in the classroom, and it's actually trying to solve a problem that you have in there, and not just using technology for the sake of it.
Yes, no, yeah, because it has to be meaningful, right? It has to be meaningful, and the students, there has to be purpose behind it too, because we can't just put students on technology and then use it just as another medium. It needs to have impact.
Like just watch a video for 5 minutes and that's it.
No. Then I have technology in my classroom.
Yeah, I have technology.
No, it has to be, there has to be a reason for it, and it has to be purposeful. So that's definitely something that we could all work on too, because there are times that we don't use it in that way. So it's important that we do. Is this your first time in Salt Lake City?
Yes, yeah. I'm a second time in U.S.
Second time. Okay, what other city did you visit before this?
San Antonio in Texas.
San Antonio, okay. Yeah. So how are you enjoying your time here at TESOL and this conference? What are you enjoying about this particular conference?
Oh, I really like to hear all the stories from everyone around the world, and see that probably I'm not alone in this in this job. We all have the same the same problems, and we come up with similar solutions. So at the end of the day, I feel that this conference is really is a eye opener for me, because I feel that back there in Panama, we try to come up with new methodologies, new technology, and we might feel like, well, maybe we're not doing enough. But once you come to these events, you notice that, well, probably we're doing,
We're okay.
We're okay. We're on the right track.
Mhm.
So that makes me very happy, actually.
Yes. So you are from Panama. I'm gonna get to go visit Panama in a couple of weeks. So I'm really excited. So what should because I love food. What is the dish that I have to try when I'm in Panama?
Oh, well, there's so many, but I would recommend sancocho.
Sancocho.
Yeah, that's a soup.
Okay. Okay. What's in the soup? What is it?
There are several vegetables like yuca, chicken,
Mhm.
and also well, it has so many things that I have never
It's just
like
all the things.
yeah.
But it's a soup. Okay, so I'll have to try it, and
Yeah.
hopefully, I'm excited to visit and go get to see Panama and all the beauty that it has to offer. So I look forward to being there, and I'm glad that you've been able to be here in Salt Lake and then got to see Texas as well, which is my home state. So
Oh, nice.
yes. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of the TESOL Media Lounge. Remember, keep learning, stay curious, y hasta la próxima, disfruta el viaje.